Well, he calls himself America's toughest sheriff. Now, Joe Arpaio of Maricopa County, Arizona, is under investigation by the Justice Department. Sheriff Joe under the microscope for alleged civil rights violations in enforcing illegal immigration laws. But he says he is going to continue to arrest illegals. Anita Vogel is live inside Tent City in Phoenix, Arizona. Anita, what can you tell us? What's the latest?
Well, good morning, Shannon. You know, it's interesting. Tent City is one of the things that's gotten Sheriff Joe in trouble with his critics in the first place. Take a look around here. There are roughly 1,500 inmates inside Tent City serving their jail sentences. You can see they're out in the open. They're wearing pink socks and pink undergarments, and critics say this is very humiliating. And, of course, in the summertime, the conditions out here can be pretty brutal. In addition, the sheriff's critics in Washington say deputies are guilty of racial profiling, illegally stopping and searching Hispanics, conducting immigration raids in primarily Hispanic areas, intimidation, discrimination, and a lot of other things to boot. Joining me now is the man in the hot seat, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Sheriff, good morning. You just heard me reel off some of those allegations. You're familiar with all of them. Let me ask you, is your department guilty of racial profiling?
No, of course not. We're well trained by the federal government, 160 of my officers. We enforce the federal, state, local laws.
Well, what about this investigation? What was your reaction when you heard that you were under investigation by the Justice Department and the House Judiciary Committee?
Well, there's 4 people from the House and a couple of politicians here don't like what I'm doing. By the way, they all happen to be Democrats. I don't think there's any politics involved. But let them come on down here. I put the tents up 1993. Let them look at that tents and let them look at our operations. I'm not concerned.
Well, speaking of them coming down here, you told me yesterday you invited the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, John Conyers, to come here.
Yeah, since he's from Michigan and they don't have any money, I offer to pay his trip. But I'm sure he won't come down here. He might find out the truth.
You haven't heard from him yet?
I don't expect to hear from him.
Okay, one of the other things that he has said is that he'd like you to come to Washington to testify in front of his committee. I guess he could subpoena you to come.
I don't have any invitation from him. If he wants me to come, write me a letter. I want him to come here first, though.
Okay, well, you let us know when he's coming, and
okay.
We'll be sure to keep a watch on that. Also, just so you know, we have put many calls in this week since Monday to John Conyers' office, asking him for some kind of a comment, an interview, an email, a statement, something. We have yet to hear from his office about that, but we'll be hearing from more critics of the sheriff later throughout the day. Shannon and Bill, back to you.
Anita Vogel, nicely done. Bill, you know what I like about the sheriff? You don't have to wonder where he stands. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's an American original. He's like Levi Jeans, right?
He is.
He's like a Chevy Camaro.
He is the very definition of sheriff.
Right.
If you look in the dictionary, his picture.
By the way.